The governor's budget proposal included an allocation of $74 million in federal funding to offset the increase in the minimum wage up to $12 an hour starting July 1st of 2020 for subsidized child care programs. What is your plan for that funding if the minimum wage increase does not pass or the enacted legislation includes an increase that is lower than $12 an hour?
So I don't know that we have a plan at this point. I think we are anticipating that the minimum wage proposal will go through, and that's where we're putting all of our eggs at this point.
So we had the same expectation last year, and that didn't happen. And I think the concerns coming, to a lot of us from back in the district. Is there an alternative plan at all?
Not at this point, no. I mean, we are putting all of our eggs in the basket of trying to get the minimum wage passed. It's too important for this workforce in particular.
Let's just say it doesn't. Would you be open to spending that funding to improve access to care, addressing the wait list, and I guess building up the supply of high-quality child care for infants and toddlers?
I mean, I think we would absolutely be open to a lot of things if it comes to that. But again, we're focused on getting the minimum wage passed.
Okay. I just want to make sure, though, that we are open to what happens if it doesn't, because it does affect a lot of our constituency back home. So my next question has to do with personal care homes and assisted living. The proposed budget requests 22 additional human services licensing positions to meet licensing and oversight requirements for personal care homes and assisted living facilities. According to the Bureau of Human Services Licensing Personal Care Home annual reports from 2013 to 2018, the number of personal care homes decreased by 7%, and the number of inspectors increased by 15%. And the average of inspector for personal care home workload declined from 1 inspector to 32 homes to 1 inspector to 26 homes. The 22 positions would be a 49% increase in licensing staff over the 2018 annual report and reduce the workload to 1 inspector to 17 personal care homes. Why do we need so many new licensing inspectors?
So I think, first of all, just from a global perspective, DHS is operating today at a staff that is 1,600 less than what we had a decade ago. Now, we are always trying to find efficiencies, using technology wisely, et cetera. But I think what we found, and last year, after reports came out around Glen Mills, we really took a hard look across the department, and the governor's been very focused on vulnerable populations and making sure that we are doing everything we can to protect people who are in our facilities and that we are doing our licensing functions to the best of our ability. And I think what we see across the board is that we are understaffed. And for example, in BHSL that you were just referencing, they are operating today at a backlog of 3 to 4 months already. And when you think about the number of renewals, the number of incident and complaint inspections needed to effectively monitor our personal care homes and our assisted living facilities, BHSL was operating with about 61% of the staff that they needed to really do their job. So we take our responsibilities seriously to make sure people and facilities are protected. And we also, in the governor's executive order last year, we also have enhanced requirements around, for example, when a facility is not meeting, and they have deficiencies, they're not meeting the requirements, they have to put together a corrective action plan. We have new requirements about making sure that those corrective action plans have been implemented. And it's the right thing to do to protect people, but that means we need additional staff to make sure we can carry out those functions.
So how many assisted living facilities were inspected in 2018, and what was the total number of human services licensing inspectors?
We could get back to you with that information.
Okay. You talk about being 1,600 employees down. It was my understanding some of that came from closures of facilities previously, not from staff like this.
I think if you look at any of our licensing staff, they will tell you they do not have the capacity to do what they need to do, which is why we're coming in with, I realize it's a very significant request, but again, across the board, as we looked around and talked to folks and said, how do you feel about the job you're able to do with the staff you have? We heard overwhelmingly, we need more staff to really make sure that we can do the job we need to do.
So let me ask this last question, which you may have to get back to me on. Can you provide the committee with a number of full, partial, and initial inspections of assisted living facilities from 2013 to 2019?
we can get you that information.
I figured you wouldn't have that handy.
I
but,
don't actually have it handy.
We're curious. I know it's been an issue in my district with we're losing personal care homes and having great difficulty in finding where to put people. So when I have to go home and tell them, well, we're going to have more inspectors, but we do not have enough of the homes to take care of the population that we have, I'm going to be asked this question.
Sure.
Okay, thank you for your time.